Hello. Hello. A bit more than that, please. Genuinely, this is like the first time I've ever been out in public, so could you... That's quite high. If you could at least give me a bit of a hello. Hello. Thanks very much, that's a little bit better, thank you. Right then, so before I start, what I've got to do here, I've a little bit of a talk, then I've got a wee letter to read out, and then I've got a wee story. So, right, so I'll put that down there, that's down there now. Right, a little bit about me then now. I'm Keith, I've been up here in Scotland for quite a while now, but my voice is a bit over the shop, and I mean it's only been developing over the last few days, like, but, so just so you know, my mum's from Yorkshire, my dad's from Newcastle, there's a little bit of Irish in me from my grandma, there's some Wales, which I can hear when you say Wales, there's a little bit of Wales from Grandad, and just in case, it doesn't usually come up, but just in case it does, it seems that somewhere along my lineage, there's a little bit of Afrikaan. So it does come in, just so you know, I'm not being racist, it's just somewhere along my lineage. Like. So, so I've been at home at Ian's house, like, and I just spent the day just like talking all day, just talking and talking, just to get used to like public speaking. It's quite difficult, like, because Ian lives alone. He's alright, but he lives alone, so there's only so many times you can talk your way through, like, making a cup of tea. So, Ian's, like, given me this note to read. I'm going to read this out first from Ian. It's about 4 pages long, because he's a bit obsessive like that. And then I'm going to do a monologue, so just bear with me. I'm going to sit down for this bit just to give it a bit of variety. There we go. Oh, I've done that thing again, Jimmy.
Smile it open there.
I can just stand up if it's easier. Alright, then that's no problem. Sorry, Jimmy, sorry.
It's alright.
Okay, then. Hello, wait for a response.
Hello.
Alright, then that's average, I guess. Oh, I just wanted to write a brief note explaining what's about to happen here. Weeks and weeks ago, when organiser Marta Adamowiczi was looking for turns for tonight, I was in a positive place and a positive mood, and I said, aye, I'll do a monologue, no problem. Well, up for that, tickety-boo. Since then, the following things have struck and sizzled and played on my mind. Number 1, I am no actor. I can safely say I was the worst thing in several university and college films, though I successfully pulled off the role of homeless person in 3 separate productions. 2 mute and 1 with a single line, any spare change please. In the edit this was redubbed. Number 2, my knowledge of monologues goes no further than Alan Bennett, a couple of the vaginas, and a Goldwatch speech from Pulp Fiction. Oh, it must be weird. If what Keith is about to do is not a monologue per se, it must at least be something. That's that one. Number 3, I have perhaps been a little down lately due to the long, cold, dark, miserable, lonely nights. That's a bit of a downer, isn't it? The upcoming Christmas, which is the only time I ever truly feel lonely, I'll pass that on. And the recent death of Sir Jimmy Savile. Can someone bring my pint up just before I get to the monologue, please? That would be useful, thank you. At age 10, I wrote to Jimmy to fix it for me to go crabbing in Wicklow with Keith Harris and Orville. For a reasonable request, and without doubt a quality piece of, thank you very much, quality piece of television, I never heard back from him, and I hated him to the point of wishing him harm. Having said that, I am 99.999% certain that this does not connect me in any way to Mr. Sapple's recent demise. So on to Keith. It's me. His heart is, I hope you see, in the right place. Oh, it's quite nice, I like that. Oh, I forgot, by the way, I did totally forget this. Just to be like courteous and stuff, I brought some Skittles I forgot to tell you I was doing this. I brought some pocket Skittles. If you could just hand them round, please. And just get everyone going nicely with their Skittles. One thing though, if you can keep the orange ones, because I'm making a three-dimensional collage for my nan's Christmas. And it's of David Dickinson. Having consensual sex with an orangutan. It's not really, it's just David Dickinson. I'll just add some images before I go to the next bit, because it's quite dark, so he's not. He's maybe a little too obviously weird looking, but at the same time, these are all my own clothes. And finally, a brief warning. The scenes of Keith's story comes from material I don't feel comfortable doing as myself as part of my stand-up career. In its new form, hopefully it works a lot better in Keith's safe hands. At the same time though, it could just be the tepid screams of a man facing some sort of midlife crisis and slowly losing grip on reality. Only time will tell, but enough from me and over to Keith. Twiddly pip, E, big kiss, little kiss. And that's what Ian had to say for me. Can you just give me a clap, because I'm feeling really shitty right now. Right then now, there's this monologue thing I've got to do. Right then, true story. People say, do they not, talk about what you know. So, the first time I had sex with a dead animal, I was 12 years old. Now, this was back in Yorkshire, where I lived when I was 12. This is around Dolby Forest, a beautiful part of Yorkshire. Particularly beautiful if it's sunny on a summer's day. This particular day was summer and sunny, henceforth with beautiful. This was 6:30 in the morning. Back then I kind of looked after myself a lot more differently than I do now. Used to go long distance running a lot, and I just like being alone, like with my thoughts and things, because that's the sort of person I am. So, 6:30, Dolby Forest, de-locked my blue and yellow bag burner to the railings by the side of the forest and went on my way. This was the early 80s, so as a 12-year-old child on my own, it was fine, because in the early 80s there was no paedophiles. In the VHS cassettes that they showed us at school, it was all strangers, and all they did was they just hung out in Max. They just hung out in the cars outside schools going, ooh, kids come here, ooh. So I was completely safe in the forest. I've lost my way. No, right, so I took my usual route through the forest with the elms to the left and the beach to the right. And it was like a 5-mile trek that I was doing. I tied myself up to 5 miles. And that would get me to my favourite spot of Dolby Forest, which was this beautiful wooded glade. And it was just, the sun seemed to like hit it, depending, but no matter where the sun was, it would always like hit this area, so it was just my favourite spot. Especially that time of the morning when there was no people about. So I tend to like go there and I'd lay in the middle of the grass, like with my hands behind my back, just look up at the clouds like the stratos and the cumulus and things, and make out the shapes like a teddy bear, or a fish slice, or a bicycle. Now the bicycle was a one-off, and granted the spokes were a little irregular, but it was still pretty impressive as it was made solely of clouds. Sorry everyone. So, after my little rest, I'd go and have my routine wee at the side of the verge there. And I was doing fine, and that's when I looked to my right there, and there's this big dark creature, this big dark dead creature on the floor. Now, I don't know what came over me really, but I'll just try and explain it as I go along here. So, the sun was beating through like on it, and I stooped down a little bit, and it was all warm, and I touched and stroked his fur, and it was all warm and soft like an old man's beard, and it was kind of a nice warm feeling to me. So I got down further, I looked deeper, and it turned out to be a badger. Has anyone even seen a badger? Totally, no. So, right, I don't know what came over me, I kind of blacked out at this point. It was like, obviously a bit of puberty going through my system, and curiosity, a really curious cat. But before I knew it, I'd slipped myself underneath the elasticated pant underlining of my Umbro shorts and entered the creature. I need to say, I wasn't really particularly liking it at first. It was a bit of a strange feeling. The thing seemed to be like undulating against my tail. That's like undulating there. That's the best day I've tried to experience undulating. But I had nothing to base this on. I was 12 years old. I had no sexual experiences. We weren't that sort of family, you know. We weren't that close. And I'd like to think it's probably the same for most of you people here. That's bad. That's really bad. So I kept going for a little bit. I'm going to slip over this bit because I don't like talking about it myself. Started feeling a little bit nauseous, you know. So I slowly slipped myself out. It was all fine, all fine, all fine. Then I got myself out, and there's this one single maggot like buried itself into the eye of my tail like that. It was buried itself in there. And I was like, get off me, get off me! And straight away, like, turned left really quickly. And I was violently sick, really violently sick, but I made sure I wasn't sick of the badger because if someone came later on and saw a dead badger covered in vomit, there's going to be questions, isn't there? I didn't deal with that. So I got to the side and hoped that the sun would dry it afterwards. Straight away, shorts up, boom, out of there, straight back to my bed. I didn't even time to root back. I was that mortified. And the light got me back home. I'm nearly finished now. Let me just check where I am. No paedophiles, done nothing. Hold on, my vomit, done nothing. Well, okay then. So, obviously I couldn't tell anyone, and it still made me feel a little bit nauseous afterwards. What I hoped was just a mild inflammation at the end of my tail turned out to be a little bit worse than that. Puberty, on the whole, kind of went okay, it went alright. But the testosterone, it just did not kind of mix and slip through my body properly, and hence, my voice never broke. So, I know it's terrible, but you know, it's okay. There's no internet now, so I can just talk to people online. Yeah, so to conclude my story, there are many other times I had sex with dead animals, but no, it was just a phase though, it was just a phase in my youth. I'd not done it for ages. It's just a phase like yo-yos, or cheat code time. Oh, you remember those flips? It was like savoury pretzels covered in chocolate, and people were like, oh, I quite like that. No, they're different, that's a different taste. And then people were like, oh, you don't like them, no, I'm more adventurous than you. And about a month and a half later, they all vanished because they were shit. Oh, I'm sorry for swearing, I didn't mean to bring the tone down. I apologise for that bit. So there were many of the times I had sex with dead animals, but I learned, these are not anecdotal because I learned from my mistakes. Always check the carcass before you enter. The end. Right, I'm going now. That's me done. I'm gonna go. I'll see you later, and just let me know how that went. Okay, bye. Yay!